So good morning guys. Welcome back to our sessions on C programming language. Previous class we discussed the features of C programming language and the character set supported by C programming language. C language supports a character set called ASCII character set where they have provided 256 characters. And in this character set, each character is assigned a value called ASCII value, and every character is represented as 8 bits or 1 byte, we called it. Now let's see what are the various tokens supported by C programming language. To understand these tokens, first let's take some sentence in English. Let's take some sentence in English. Suppose there is a sentence here like welcome to Siri Tech Online. In order to create this sentence, whatever the elements we have used, we call them tokens. In order to create this sentence, whatever the meaningful elements we have used, we call them tokens. So to create this program statement, to create this sentence, we used 4 words. Welcome to Siri Tech Online. So how we can say they are 4 words? Because they are separated by space characters. A space is a invisible character, but still it has some meaning. What a space does, it separates 2 words. So space is one token here. And also we have one period symbol here, a full stop which indicates end of the sentence. Like that, to create a sentence, whatever the meaningful elements we have used, we call them tokens. Similarly, while writing a program statement, whatever the meaningful elements we use, we call them tokens. So what is a token in programming? What is a token in programming? Now see here. A token is a smallest unit of element. It is a smallest unit of element in a program statement. In order to write a program statement, whatever the meaningful elements we use, we call them tokens. So, tokens in any language, tokens in any language, they can be classified into 5 types. Tokens in any language, they can be classified into 5 types. What are they? Means they are keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and special symbols. Any programming language, whether it is C or C++ or Java, any programming language, it supports 5 different type of tokens. They are keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and special symbols. Let's see them one by one. Let's see them one by one. The first set of symbols, we call them keywords. Keywords, we also call them reserved words. Keywords, we also call them reserved words. So what are they? Just observe the room you are sitting. Just observe the room where you are sitting. In your room, you can find a tube light, you can find a fan, chair, and you can have a mobile, a window, a door. They are called keywords. Means, while building a language, to identify the objects around us, they have created some names. We call them keywords. The names are reserved for that particular object only. Like that, while developing a programming language, the language developers, for our programming requirements, they have created some words for us. Each word is having a purpose and meaning, and we have to use the word for that purpose only. So we call them keywords or reserved words like this. And one thing we have to remember is keywords, they must be written in lower case only. Why? Because one of the important features of C programming language, C is a case sensitive language. Case sensitive language means capital letters, small letters, they are completely different. That's why C is a case sensitive language, we call it. Now, what are the keywords supported by C programming language? Let's see the list of keywords here. So, the keywords include auto, break, bool, char, const, continue. So, we have like do, double, default, else, enum, for, float, false, go to, if, int, long, register, return, short, switch, signed, static, struct, size of, type def, true, while, void, volatile. So, union, unsigned. Like that, different keywords are provided by C programming language. Every keyword is having a purpose and meaning. We have to use the word for that purpose only. That's why we call them keywords. Of course, when we start programming, I will tell you what is the purpose of each keyword, how to use these keywords, we will discuss there. So every word having a purpose and meaning, we have to use the word for that purpose only, so we call them keywords. Next, the second set of tokens supported by C programming language, they are identifiers or user defined words. Identifiers, we also call them user defined. The names created by programmers. The names created by programmers. Like for example, when you take a classroom, the classroom you have many people available. One classification is I am the faculty, you are the students. Among the students we have one more classification, that is boys and girls, like that. Then how to identify a particular student? When there are several students in the classroom, how to identify particular student? By their names. So these names, for our identification, we have created ourselves. In a family, to identify each member, we have created one name, we call it identifier. Similarly, while writing a program, for some programming elements, the the programmers, they can create some names to them. So they are called identifiers. Identifiers are the named assigned for variables, and then constants, functions, structures, unions, objects, etc. Like that, for different programming elements, whatever the names we give, we call them identifiers. But one important thing we have to remember here is, while creating an identifier, we have to follow some rules. While creating an identifier, we have to follow some rules. What are they? The rules are like, first letter must be an alphabet or an underscore. An identifier must always starts with an alphabet or an underscore. Then, while naming an identifier, I can use capital letters, I can use small letters, and even digits also I can use them. But digit cannot be the first letter. Why? Because first letter must be alphabet or underscore. Coming to special symbols, except underscore, except the symbol underscore, no other symbol is allowed. Special symbols are not allowed. Similarly, spaces are not allowed. This is one more rule. Generally, while doing some mathematical processing, I can write like total marks equals to m1 plus m2 plus m3. So here, while naming total marks, I can use a space because it's mathematics. But if it is a programming element, either you have to combine the words or you can use an underscore as the separator. But spaces are not allowed. That's what we have to remember. And one more important rule here is, reserved words are not allowed. Reserved words are not allowed. Why? Because these words, they are already having a purpose and meaning. So that's why we cannot use them as our programming elements. Reserved words are not allowed. This is one more rule we have to follow. Then, identifier names. When we take the identifier names, they must be case sensitive. They must be case sensitive and unique. Like for example, when you take M1, it is a different name. Capital M1, this is different name. They are two different identifiers. So case sensitive. The names must be unique and they must be case sensitive. So like that, these are the rules we have to follow. Like for example, here I have created some identifier like this, roll number. So this identifier name, it is invalid. Why? Because dot period symbol is not allowed. This is invalid. Suppose I have taken like two subjects. This is also invalid. Why? Because first letter is a digit. Digit should not come first. Then when I write something like go to is also invalid. Why? Because we can see here go to is a keyword. Reserved word cannot be used. And not only that, if I write like total marks, this is also invalid. Just now I told spaces are not allowed. Either you have to combine them or you can use underscore as the separator. So spaces not allowed. Then when I write like auto, is it valid or invalid? Auto is it valid or invalid? So this is valid. Why? Because when I give auto in underscore, it is a keyword, it's a reserved word, we cannot use. But here A I have written in uppercase, so this is a valid name. This is a valid name. This auto, it will be allowed there. Also, as I said, auto, all are different names here. Even underscore is a valid identifier, double underscore, triple underscore, these are all valid. Underscore ABC, underscore 123, these are valid identifiers. So the second set of tokens supported by C programming language, they are identifiers, just we can describe like this. So this is the second set of token supported by C programming language. Next, the third set of tokens here, we call them literals. What are literals in programming? You can see here, values used in expressions are called literals. Literals are nothing but values used in expressions, we call them literals. Generally, while writing something in mathematics, x equals to 12.5. So this 12.5 is a literal. This 12.5 is a literal. So if I take something like task done equal to false, this false is a literal. Similarly, total equals to 599. 599 is a literal here. So literals are nothing but such type of values that are used in expressions, we call them literals. We can write like this. Literals we can write like this. That's the next implementation. Now let's see literals in C language. What are the various literals that can be used in a C program? Generally, in programming language, we can use two types of literals. In programming language, we can use two types of literals. What are they? They are numeric literals and second one non-numeric literals. Literals means numeric literals, non-numeric literals. Numeric means numbers. Numeric means numbers. A number can be used as a literal here, so we call them numeric literals. Non-numeric means they are not numbers, so we call them non-numeric literals here. Non-numeric means they are not numbers, here we can say like this. So what are the literals that can be used in a C program? What are the literals that can be used in a C program? Now let's see here. First one, numeric literals. Numeric means what? Any number. Numeric, we can classify them into two types. They are integer literals. Second one, floating point literals. Integer literals. Second one, floating point literals. So they are numbers. They are numbers. So integer literals, any integer value, whether it is positive or negative or 0, it's an integer literal. Any floating point value, whether it is a positive or negative or 0, is a floating point literal. It's a floating point literal, like this we can say. Numeric literals, non-numeric literals. Next, when we take non-numeric literals, first here we have Boolean literals. Boolean means true or false. A true value or a false value can be used as a numeric literal. A true value or a false value can be used as a numeric literal, like this. Numeric literal here, like. And Boolean literal we call it. Then we have character literals. Any ASCII value placed inside single quotes or apostrophe symbol. Any ASCII character placed inside single quotes, it's a character literal. So apostrophe or single quotes, the values are placed. Next we have string literals here. String is nothing but a group of characters. String is nothing but a group of characters or a collection of characters placed inside, enclosed inside double quotes. We call it a string literal. So numeric literals, non-numeric literals, and numeric we have integer and floating point literals. Non-numeric we have Boolean, character, string literals, like that available. And also some more things we have to remember. Suppose there is a variable called a where I have assigned a value 100. So here 100 is a decimal value. Numbered systems, I will provide a separate video for it. So when we are giving a value directly like this, so we call it a decimal number. Suppose if a value is preceded by 0, if any value preceded by 0, then it will be treated as an octal literal. Any number preceded by 0, it is treated as an octal literal here in programming. And any number which is preceded by 0x, x can be capital or small letter, then that value it is treated as a hexadecimal literal. Any number preceded by 0x, x can be in uppercase or lowercase, we call it a hexadecimal value. So like that, literals are nothing but these are the values used in expressions. We can write like this. Of course, operators in C programming, I will create a separate video for it. Operators in C programming, I will create a separate video for it. Before that, let's see the next set of tokens, special symbols. While writing the program statements, we can use some special symbols here. What are special symbols? So, in C programming, we can use different type of symbols for different purposes. So, what are they? Let's see one by one. The first set of symbols, they are comments. Comments are nothing but they are English language sentences. English language sentences that we write in our program. They are English language sentences we write in our program. So to understand our program better, we can explain our program in English language sentences. So we call them comments. Comments we are using just for our understanding only. Compiler cannot understand comments. Compiler will just ignore comments. Like for example, whenever you are writing some notes in your classroom, to identify some important words, what you will do, you will write the meaning of that words in your own language. So just for our understanding only, so we call them comments. So C programming, comments we can write in two ways. The first one is double slash. Double slash, this symbol is used to represent a single line comment. This symbol, it's used to represent a single line comment. Means after this symbol, whatever the text I write in that line, after this symbol, whatever the text I write in that line, it will be treated as a comment. Single line, that comment will span for only one line. Suppose if I want to provide a comment in more than one line, then I can use the symbols like this: slash asterisk, asterisk slash. So these symbols, they can be used to represent multi-line comments. These symbols, they are used to represent multi-line comments, where this symbol indicates start of the comment and this symbol, it indicates end of the comments. So comments are the English language sentences we write to understand our program better. So this is the first symbol we can use. The next symbol we can use in our program, it's a semicolon. Semicolon indicates end of this sentence here in programming. In English language, a period symbol, full stop, indicates end of the sentence. In the programming language like C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, semicolon indicates end of the statement. End of the statement indicated by semicolon. Then we have a symbol called comma. Comma can be used as a value or a statement separator. Comma symbol can be used to separate values or statements. So that's one more symbol. Along with, we can use braces also. Some braces also we can use. The first brace symbol we'll use curly braces or flower brackets, we call them. So these symbols, they are used to represent blocks. These symbols are used to represent blocks. Blocks means set of statements. Like for example, I have a group of statements available like this. I want to execute these statements as a set. Then I can place them in between curly braces like this. So this symbol indicates start of the block and this symbol indicates end of the block like this. The next symbol, purpose of these symbols, they are used to initialize. They are used to initialize arrays, structures, unions, such type of elements. To initialize them, they will be using. Okay, what is an array, what is a structure, what is a union, what is an enum? We will see them one by one, but in these cases, the curly braces are used. Next we have closed braces or square braces. They are used in the concept of arrays. Arrays is one important concept used in programming language. So there we can use these symbols called square braces like this. The next set of symbols that are provided are open braces or parentheses. Open braces or parentheses, two purposes they can be used are to represent conditions. If I want to write any condition, like if A is greater than B, the condition it is placed inside parenthesis like this. The second purpose, they are used to represent functions. So functions is a very important concept in C programming. So while writing functions also, we'll use these parentheses. Okay, what is a function we will see very soon, but that is one more braces we can use. And finally we have angle braces. This less than and greater than symbols, we call them angle braces. Angle braces, they are used to specify header file names. They are used to specify the header file names. These symbols, they are used. Sir, what is a header file? Okay, just we don't know right now. We'll see what is a header file very detailed later. But that is one more symbol. Apart from that, we have some more set of symbols provided. We call them backslash characters, or they are also called escape sequences. Backslash characters or escape sequences. Then we have some symbols like format strings or format specifiers, like different type of symbols supported by C programming language. So what about backslash characters? What about format strings? Very soon we are going to see them, but these are the things here. So while writing a program statement, whatever the meaningful elements we use, we call them tokens. A token can be a keyword, it can be an identifier, it can be a literal, it can be an operator, it can be a special symbol. Different types of tokens supported by C programming language like this. So here we have discussed 4 types of tokens. They are keywords, identifiers, literals and special symbols. What about operators? A very important concept of any programming language. Operators. What is an operator? What are the various types of operators provided by C programming? We'll discuss it in our next tutorial. Okay, I hope you are clear with this topic, that is the tokens of C programming. Let's meet in our next video, that is various operators supported by C programming language. Okay, thank you all. Let's meet in our next session.